Let's talk about getting older and finding purpose. Some people assume that as we get older, we're less able to live purposefully. We have less time here on Earth. We have diminished abilities. In fact, some people even give up the pursuit of purpose because they feel that they're too old. But here's the surprising part. It turns out that aging gives us significant advantages in both finding and living out purpose. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 different ways that getting older can actually help us to live more purposefully. My name is Bradley Wright. I'm a professor of sociology, and I study how people find life purpose. As part of my research lab, we teach other people how to find purpose, and we've done this for about 900 people. Initially, our workshops were targeted towards college students, but over time, we had people who are in the middle of their careers or approaching the end of their careers start to attend our workshops. That gave us a chance to observe and to think about how age impacts finding purpose. Here are 5 advantages that getting older gives us as we pursue purpose. Advantage number 1, getting older gives us a sense of urgency. There's nothing like having lots of birthdays to make you realize that you have a limited number left. That motivates us. That makes us think about what we want most. We realize we don't have unlimited time to do whatever we want whenever. We've got to get to it faster. In our research, we've seen this in multiple situations. People have had tragic accidents or terminal illnesses that will probably shorten their lifespan, suddenly become much more aware of purpose. Also, this comes up in popular media. So there's a song decades ago about how the singer wished that you could live like you were dying. And that's the logic here, to give you a sense of urgency to go do what matters most. Advantage number 2 is that getting older makes us think in terms of a legacy. Part of knowing that our life will end is wondering, what have we done with it and what are we going to leave behind when we're gone? The anthropologist Ernest Becker, in his book, The Denial of Death, wrote about immortality projects. He observed that people want to leave something behind, almost as a way of continuing to live after they've passed away. Now, this can take lots of forms. It can be contributing to people's lives. It can be changing institutions or organizations. It could be creative endeavors like what you write or paint or anything that will continue on without you. Now, not everyone will have a statue or a building named after them. That is a form of legacy. But we can make a difference that outlasts who we are, and getting older moves us towards that, and that is purposeful. Advantage number 3 of aging is that we typically have more margin and more resources in our lives. When people are just getting going into adulthood, they're starting their careers, they're starting their families, and these are things that take a lot of time. However, when people are middle-aged and beyond, they typically are in a good place with their career. Their family is typically less demanding, requires less work, and that gives them more time, more energy to put into discovering what matters most and living it out. Now, in my own life, when my sons were home, I loved it, but boy, was it busy and tiring. We were constantly having to deal with the issues in their lives, helping them to navigate the world. When they were really young, we had to get up with them in the middle of the night frequently. Now that they've left the house, now that we're essentially empty nesters, we have more time and more energy. Now, this could be bad because it could be boring, but it also could be good because it gives us the resources, it gives us time and energy for discovering what matters most and doing it. Now, there are exceptions to this. This is just a general principle. There are certainly people my age. There are people who are middle-aged and over who have very difficult lives, who have no margin. I understand. But in general, we typically have more, and we can use that margin for living purposefully. Advantage number 4. As we age, we know ourselves better. As we get older, we have more history. We've made more decisions. We've had more experiences. And all of these help us to understand who we are. It helps us to understand what we like, what matters to us, what we don't like, what doesn't matter to us, what we're able to do. This type of self-knowledge becomes very important for purpose, because purpose is all about knowing who we are, what matters to us, and then enacting it in the world and being able to. This is one reason why counseling helps so many people discover purpose in their lives, because it grounds them and helps them to discover who they are and what matters to them. As we know ourselves better, we're more quickly able to get into what matters most. Advantage number 5 is that as we get older, we've had a lot of experience with what is purposeful. So not only do we know ourselves better, but we also know the things that we find purposeful and the things that are not purposeful. As we've identified things that are purposeful, it becomes easier to do more of them. We've tried pursuing bright, shiny objects, and we realize They just don't do it for us. We've become disillusioned with some of the promises of the world. So as we better understand what is meaningful above and beyond who we are, we can live more purposefully. What should you do with all this knowledge? Well, if you're getting older every year, as many of us are, you might lean into the different ways that helps you to live more purposefully, how it helps you to know yourself and how it gives you experiences and how it motivates you. All of this combines to make our older age more purposeful. If you've enjoyed this video, I've linked to another one here that follows up on some of these ideas that you might find useful. Also, if you have found value in this video, I would encourage you to subscribe to this channel. It's very encouraging for me, and it'll help you to know when new videos drop. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.